Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Ibrahim Traoré's era. Today we go back to the moment when one man, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, said, "Enough!" The day he risked everything to free Burkina Faso from betrayal, fear, and foreign control. This is how it started. This is why the coup was not madness. It was a mission to save a dying nation.
You are undoubtedly aware that a few hours ago, your peaceful sleep in the city of Ouagadougou was unfortunately disturbed by the sound of weapons. We sincerely apologize for this. We do not wish for it. We have never wished for it, but such are the circumstances of life. Therefore, we extend our apologies to you and all the residents of Ouagadougou for the noise of weapons over these 2 days. This happened because certain things are not functioning well, which we have observed and will also explain to you here. We have a tendency to always blame the other Burkina. I believe that most of you here are older than I am. So what I'm going to tell you is that we really need to change the pace. We need to change the pace, we need to move quickly. All countries are in a state of urgency. So everyone at their level must be able to move faster and abandon unnecessary administrative burdens. I couldn't even specify this point, or that point where we need to be. Quick. It's all the points. In Burkina, everything is urgent. From security to defense to health, to social action, to infrastructure, everything is urgent. We will have to move quickly. While waiting to have specific points. Soon on, the different ministries, to examine them one by one. I will also ask you for a point that could help us in the urgency. Maybe the SG will compile that. I know that you use Land Cruiser pickups in your ministries, often underutilized. And there are often many in your hangars. Maybe they have nothing wrong, but perhaps just minor issues. Identify everything and give us the general report. We need it.
In January 2022, hope in Burkina Faso was almost gone. Lieutenant Colonel Paul-Henri Damiba had just taken power after removing President Roch Kabore. He promised peace, safety, and an end to the terrorist attacks destroying villages and killing thousands. People believed him. They were tired, angry, and desperate for a real soldier who would protect them. But soon, that hope turned into disappointment. Damiba's promises were empty. The attacks got worse. Terrorists grew stronger, not weaker. Villages kept burning, soldiers kept dying, and families kept running for safety. The man who came to save the people had failed them. Damiba made 3 deadly mistakes, 3 betrayals that broke the hearts of the Burkinabè people. First, he abandoned his soldiers. The young men fighting in the bush had no weapons, no food, and no support. They were dying alone, forgotten by the same leaders who sent them. Second, he ran back to France. Instead of building new alliances, he begged the same colonial power that had robbed Burkina Faso for years, the same France that had turned their gold into its fortune. The people had chased away their old government for being too close to the West, yet here was Damiba doing the same thing. Third, he lost the people's trust. He proved he was not a savior, but a puppet wearing a uniform. While Damiba was busy shaking hands with Western diplomats, young soldiers were dying in silence. But among them was a man who refused to stay silent, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. He saw everything, the lies, the corruption, the weakness. He saw his brothers dying while leaders smiled for cameras. And one day, he said the words that would change everything. Enough is enough. Traoré didn't act alone. He was surrounded by young, fearless officers who loved their country more than life. They planned quietly, moved wisely, and struck with precision. The coup was not chaos. It was clean, fast, and disciplined. Their first target, the national TV station. When Burkinabè people turned on their televisions and saw Traoré's face, they knew instantly change had come. The streets exploded with joy. People cheered, cried, and shouted one word over and over: freedom. Captain Traoré spoke directly to his people. He said Damiba failed to stop terrorism, failed to protect soldiers, and failed to respect the nation's dignity. He promised to restore both security and pride, and that one word, dignity, became the soul of his revolution. Damiba bowed to France for crumbs. Traoré stood tall and said, "We will fight our own war. We will never kneel again." The coup wasn't about power, it was about honor. It was about ending the endless begging and reclaiming the courage that makes a nation free. Right after taking power, Traoré didn't waste time. No long speeches, no fake promises, only action. He started by cutting the strings that tied Burkina Faso to its colonial master. He sent a clear message to France and the West. We are done being controlled. The French ambassadors, military advisors, and NGOs who had ruled in the shadows were dismissed overnight. Burkina Faso turned its face toward Africa, toward sovereignty. Traoré told his people, "The defense of our land belongs to us all. The army cannot fight alone." That message changed everything. Villagers, farmers, and students lined up to join the volunteers for the defense of the homeland, FIDP. Ordinary people became soldiers. Women cooked for fighters, youth trained, and elders blessed the movement. For the first time, the people were not waiting for help. They were helping themselves. Traoré said, "If the enemy comes, they will not fight just our army. They will fight every Burkinabè." It was not just a military change. It was a spiritual awakening. And then came the second revolution, economic freedom. For decades, France took Burkina Faso's gold and gave nothing in return. They built their cities with Burkinabè wealth while our people stayed poor. Traoré said no more. He canceled old contracts, demanded fair prices, and redirected the nation's gold to its people. That gold now builds hospitals, roads, and schools, not French airports. It buys weapons for Burkinabè soldiers, not foreign soldiers. The nation's riches now serve its children, not its colonizers. When the West refused to cooperate fairly, Traoré looked east, to Russia, China, and Turkey. He said, "We don't need masters. We need partners." Burkina Faso now trades directly with those who respect its sovereignty, buying real equipment, real drones, and real tools for defense. No hidden conditions, no political traps. This is not switching masters, it's breaking the chain completely. But Traoré didn't stop at saving Burkina Faso. He joined forces with Mali's Colonel Assimi Goïta and Niger's General Abdourahmane Tiani to form the Alliance of Sahel States, AES. 3 nations, 1 voice, 1 promise. If you attack one of us, you attack all of us. This alliance became the final wall against Western domination. The Sahel, once seen as weak and divided, became a fortress of unity and courage. Together, they turned the word revolution into reality. Traoré's leadership rests on 3 unbreakable pillars. Sovereignty. He rejected Western control and built real partnerships. Dignity. He used Burkina Faso's gold to feed and protect its people. Unity. He joined the Sahel nations into one unstoppable front. These 3 pillars make the second independence irreversible. Traoré didn't just change a government. He changed the direction of a continent. He showed that Africa doesn't need permission to rise. It only needs courage. And as the world watches, the message is clear. The Sahel will never kneel again. This is Ibrahim Traoré's era. Burkina Faso has spoken. Africa has awakened.